A snowy, cold Friday night across Colorado.
The good news, the snow is tapering off. The bad news, travel tonight could be rough.
A warning ahead of Valentine's Day. Scammers targeting people looking for love.
It's devastating. I mean, emotionally, physically, there was days that I didn't want to get out of bed. I mean, it's just draining.
How these crooks are duping innocent victims out of big bucks.
A violent incident inside a Denver school.
As a mother, are you scared to send him back there? Absolutely. I'm so afraid for him to go back to school.
Tonight, we're asking DPS if they plan to make security changes after this lunchroom confrontation.
And we begin tonight with a weather action day as our latest snowstorm moves across Colorado.
The snow is tapering off in the metro area, but if you have to be out on the road tonight, you're going to want to take it nice and slow.
Let's send it on over to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson with the latest on our totals and what we can expect heading into Saturday. Mike?
Ann and Shannon, the snow is diminishing, but it's dropped a lot up into the foothills of Boulder County. 10 inches at Jamestown, 9 at Pine Cliff. Genesee has had 8 inches, and North Boulder 7.5. Louisville 6.5, 5 at Commerce City. Southwest Denver and a lot of Aurora has had about 4 inches of snow. It is diminishing to the north of us considerably. There's still a pretty good band in Jefferson County and extending down now into Douglas County, but the main bands of the snow have pushed down toward Monument Hill and will continue to move southward. The winter weather advisories will expire as of 11 p.m. for the Front Range of northern Colorado. They will continue across southern Colorado down toward Trinidad and Raton Pass all night long. As the cold front has slid in here, that's brought us the upslope conditions. Behind it comes some pretty cold air. We've dropped to 24 in Denver at 17 up in Sterling, and so overnight tonight as the snow stops falling, the temperatures keep dropping into the teens by morning. We'll have snow coming up by the middle part of next week, but in between, it's going to warm up nicely.
All right, thank you, Mike. They're called romance scams. Crooks take advantage of people looking for love online in order to steal their money and their personal information.
Last year, Denver 7 introduced you to one man who lost a fortune to one of these schemes involving cryptocurrency. Well, after that story aired, another person reached out to Denver 7's Brian Wang, saying they nearly fell for a similar scam.
Looking for a date ahead of Valentine's Day has become more convenient over the years, and scammers have taken note.
He was so into me. It was really cool, and we talked for hours on the phone.
That's usually how the romance scam starts, according to the FBI. The scammers meet their victims on a dating app or social media, then spend time building trust before asking for money.
I asked him, would you like to meet? Just, for a quick meet in person. And he was very offended that I had suggested this because he had such a busy schedule to get on his international flight. So I thought, okay, this is pretty clearly not a real thing.
Sam says once she noticed the red flags, she cut contact with him immediately.
Starting a new relationship with a man, you want to be open and share things. And now I feel a little careful about getting too exposed.
According to a new FBI report Friday, more than 200 people in Colorado and Wyoming have fallen prey to the romance scam, losing over $32 million within the last 4 months.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's so well put together, and the psychology and the social engineering and everything behind it is designed to drain you financially of everything that you have.
Steve Belcher speaking from experience. The Denver resident dished out his life savings of $1.6 million in November after meeting a woman on a dating app who convinced him to invest his money in a fraudulent app posing as a cryptocurrency exchange.
It's devastating. I mean, emotionally, physically, there was days that I didn't want to get out of bed. I mean, it's just draining.
Denver 7 News aired Belcher's story in December.
It was your story in December that went on the air right at the time that I was dealing with trying to figure out whether or not this man was legitimate or not. That's when I deleted his contact information, blocked his phone number, and I never heard from him after that.
And she's very lucky that she cut all communication with him because according to the FBI, victims who lose money in these sort of scams usually don't get a dime back, and if they do, it's just a percentage of their total loss. The FBI also tells anybody who may have fallen victim to a romance scam or really any sort of similar scam to file a complaint on ic3.gov. And
that is so crazy. All right, Brian, you're out in the snow on a night many couples are out celebrating Valentine's Day. I know you're downtown Denver. I have to ask, what are conditions like out there?
yeah, and we really haven't seen that heavy snowfall in the last couple hours like we did earlier today. I don't think you can really see it. We're really just getting very light flurries. So some of that visibility challenges that we saw in parts of the metro today and parts of downtown, that's not really a factor here. However, of course, with temperatures like this and snow pile up, chances of slick roads are very likely. So if you're going to go up into the mountains or enjoy Valentine's Day early throughout the weekend, just make sure you leave plenty of room between you and the car in front of you. Back to you guys.
All right. Brian Wang doing double duty for us tonight. Thanks, Brian. Well, tonight we're getting our first look at police body cam video showing the arrest of Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. Peters was detained Tuesday by Grand Junction police, who had a search warrant to seize an iPad that Peters is accused of using to illegally record a courtroom hearing. Body cam video shows police putting Peters in handcuffs before she appears to try to kick one of the officers.
Let go of me!
Do not kick.
Oh.
You understand?
Stop it!
Peters has since been charged with obstructing a peace officer. She turned herself in Thursday and quickly bonded out. Now, Tina Peters has gained notoriety as a vocal denier of the 2020 presidential election results. Those debunked conspiracy theories have led to violent threats against election officials, including Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold. And Griswold now is asking the legislature for $120,000 to increase her personal security.
No elected officials should be threatened for doing their job. But we're seeing the threat of violence being used as an attack on democracy.
Griswold tells us she is also planning to propose legislation that would close the legislative loophole that she says prevents her from requesting state patrol coverage.
Just in the last hour, we've learned the U.S. is set to evacuate its embassy in Kiev. This comes as the White House urges Americans to leave Ukraine because national security advisors are warning Russia could invade before the end of the Winter Games in China.
We obviously cannot predict the future. We don't know exactly what is going to happen. But the risk is now high enough, and the threat is now immediate enough, that this is what prudence demands.
The White House says President Biden will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin by phone tomorrow. Russia has been amassing troops on its border with Ukraine for weeks now, creating fears of an invasion. And the White House says if Russia invades, it will be hit with crippling economic sanctions, not just from the U.S., but also our European allies.
A mother says she is afraid to send her child back to school after a violent lunchroom attack.
And tonight we are learning that fight broke out after someone walked onto school grounds and got inside through an open cafeteria door.
Denver 7's CB Cotton sat down with a mother who believes this assault could have been prevented.
Heartbreak was delivered to Debbie Miller in a video message. And she's never been the same since.
Watching that as a mother, why didn't anybody intervene? Why do they take time to take a video? Why don't I hear the words help?
Last Monday, Miller's son was assaulted in the lunchroom at Conservatory Green High School, a STEM charter school in the Denver Public Schools district. Video of the incident was widely circulated in chat rooms among students. In still frames from the video, Miller says this is her son on the ground.
When he went to the floor in the lunchroom, he was continuously hit in the head.
Miller says the assault happened following a failed friendship, and someone's relative came to the school seeking revenge.
The school has a video. It shows the getaway car waiting out where the boy was dropped off to go attack my son.
Denver police confirmed to Denver 7 they responded to the school for the incident, and officers told Denver 7 on Friday a juvenile has now been arrested and charged with assault and disturbing the peace.
He was caught off guard. He was attacked.
And while Miller is glad charges have been filed, she feels the ordeal could have been prevented.
Why did a kid that does not go to this school able to cross that door into a school that I was hoping was going to be safe for my son?
So we took that question to Denver Public Schools. In a statement to Denver 7, the district said in part, because this is an open campus, the doors to the cafeteria facility are not locked during lunchtime. Staff members are present to monitor the doors to the building.
Why not provide lanyards, badges for the kids to wear at all times to walk in and out of those doors, so that not just anybody can walk into that school.
We also asked if the district plans to make any security changes following the assault of Miller's son, but the district would only say they'll continue to respond, quote, responsibly and accordingly. For now, Miller's son is doing virtual learning while she and her family plan their next steps.
Unless there is more security, we don't want our son going back. We don't feel secure.
CB Cotton, Denver 7.
Black history in the crosshairs.
I do think that we need to be vigilant, we meaning all of us as Americans.
From banning books to legislating what can be taught. Tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at the impacts of politicizing education.
And breaking down Super Bowl Sunday, Steve Atwater tells us his keys to victory for the Bengals and Rams.
The snow is stopping, but the temperatures will keep falling. How cold it'll be by morning.